Alright, so this is 4.1b, and we are ready for example number 4. And it says solve the following system by graphing. So we're going to take our system, y equals 2x minus 3, and x equals 3. Alright, so we're going to graph those. Let me get a graph. Alright, so there's my graph. Okay, so this is already in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. My y-intercept is negative 3. That's where it crosses. And this can be written as 2 over 1, right? Any slope can be written as a fraction, and you want to do that because the top number is the y, the bottom number is the x. So it says go up 2 and over 1. So there's my other point. Okay, so if I had a straight edge, which I don't obviously, I get a line that looks like that. Now let's graph this in blue. X equals 3. Remember, when x equals 3, that means you're going to get a vertical line at 3. So there is where our two lines cross. And if you'll notice, my graph crosses right here. That's because I'm a lame graph maker. And actually this red line should be up 2 over 1, up 2 over... I should be crossing right there if my line would have been straighter. That's what's really hard about this kind of graphing, is if your line is not exact, you're going to get the wrong answer. That's why this really isn't that accurate, and I don't use it very much, but the book teaches it, so we're learning it because it is important to at least understand how the graph relates to the equation. Okay, so actually the point crosses at 3, 3. So let's put that in here. 3 equals 2 times 3 minus 3. 3 equals 6 minus 3, and 3 equals 3. So that top equation, it works. Alright, so this one here says x is 3. Is x 3? Yes, it is. So the bottom equation works as well. Alright, so let's continue on. Let's look at example 5. Sorry for my music. I kind of went back to the 80s. Gloria Estefan and Phil Collins. Funny. Okay. Example 5. Y equals x minus 2. Y equals x plus 1. Okay. So anyway, the music I'm listening to is on Spotify, which is an awesome subscription. If you're a college student, you can download all the music you want onto your phone, listen to it offline on an airplane or whatever, and you pay $4.99 a month for unlimited downloads on Spotify. So as a college student, it's a really good deal. And because I'm a college instructor, I get the same deal. So pretty awesome for $5 a month. Okay, sorry. Anyway, solve the following system by graphing. Alright, so it's already in slope-intercept form. In fact, both of these are in y equals mx plus b form. So what I'm going to do here, bring my graph over here, and let's graph the first one. Negative 2 is the y-intercept. The slope right here is 1 over 1. Okay, remember the slope can be written as, it has to be written as a fraction, and the number in front of x, since there isn't one, is 1, and 1 as a fraction is 1 over 1. So that means we go up 1 over 1. And then if you just keep going, it helps you to get a better straight line. Up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. Okay? And so then what happens is it makes it a little bit easier to draw your straight line here. I still have a hard time drawing a straight line, don't I? Alright, get rid of my little stair step here. And that's the way a slope works. It doesn't just go from the y-intercept to the next point. It goes to the next point, to the next point, to the next point. You just keep using that slope over and over and over. Okay, so this is, again, 1 over 1x plus 1. That's this equation right here. And let's see, it says it crosses it at 1. And then it says go up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. Okay, so notice it does help me get a better straight line here. Okay. So there's my two lines. Now notice the space between these. 1, 2, 3. I mean, anywhere I'm at on this line, there's a space of 3. A distance of 3. So that means they're parallel. They'll never cross. So what does that tell you as far as your solution? There ain't no solution because the solution only works when those lines cross each other. They don't cross each other, so they have nothing in common. So the answer is the null set. Okay, it means there is no answer. All right, let's do one where, we said that you've got a couple different options. Your graphs either cross at one point, at no points, like that one just did, or at all points. It lies right on top of each other. So let's go ahead and do an all points. So 2x plus y equals 4. 4x plus 2y equals 8. And I'm sorry, I cannot listen to Gloria Estefan any longer. Okay, back to the 70s. Queen, another one bites the dust. I can do that. All right, so let's graph this. Let's go ahead and put this top one in slope-intercept form. Okay, minus 2x y equals negative 2x plus 4. So this is this equation in slope-intercept form. So let's graph that. Crosses at 4. Slope is negative 2 over 1. So I'm going to go down 2 over 1. Down meaning negative. Down 2 over 1. Down 2 over 1. It helps me to get a better straight line here. Okay. So let's go ahead and erase that. We're done with that equation. And let's look at the bottom equation. Let's put it in slope-intercept form. So we're going to subtract 4x from both sides. And we get 2y equals negative 4x plus 8. And then we'll divide by 2 and divide by 2. Those will cancel. Split those up. Negative 4x over 2 plus 8 over 2. Okay, sorry, I'm getting a little monotone, aren't I? Negative 4 over 2 is negative 2, and 8 over 2 is 4. So let's graph that. Y-intercept at 4. They share the same y-intercept. This says negative 2 over 1, so go down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. Notice what's happening. My blue line and my red line are on top of each other. That means that the solution set is infinite. Every single point that is on one line is on another. And how many points is that? It's an infinite number of points there. So all of the points lie on that line. Okay, so they coincide is what that's called. All right, so that is it. If you turn to page 272, there's 3 different graphs that show you a summary of 3 possible types of solutions. One solution, no solution, or an infinite number of solution. And let's jump to the problem set for 4.1. You should not have any trouble with these since we've pretty much gone over all of the examples. So let's see, 5 to 31, every other odd. 5 to 31. So all you're doing is graphing. You're graphing those points, and I would suggest put them in slope-intercept form like this. Whoa, that's not a Y, that should be a B. Okay, so if you put them in that form, then it makes life a lot easier. I mean, like 5, you don't have to, and 7, you're probably okay, but you get one like number 19, probably a good idea. There's one of the equations, and then minus 2x plus y equals 4. So let's set this in slope-intercept form. So we're going to subtract, in fact, let's erase this one here. We're going to subtract 3x from both sides. Negative 5y equals negative 3x plus 15. Then we divide by negative 5, divide these two by negative 5. Those go away. Y equals negative 3x over negative 5 is a positive 3 over 5, two negatives. 15 over negative 5 is a negative 3. So there is my first equation in slope-intercept form. Makes it a lot easier to graph. You're going to have a hard time graphing that thing if you were to leave it in that form right there. But when you put it in slope-intercept form, which is this form, okay, we didn't solve anything. We just changed what the equation looked like so that we could graph it. All right, so if you continue down past 25 and go to 31, 31 is the same as we just did. And one of the things I do want you to read is number 33. As you probably have guessed by now, it can be difficult to solve a system of equations by graphing if the solution to the system contains a fraction. That's the problem. Because when you've got a graph like this and a graph like that, well, let's put another graph on here. A graph like that, where do those cross? I mean, did I go over 1 1/2, 1 2/3? I mean, it's really hard when you have fractions. And that's what it's saying here. The solution of the following systems is 1/2 1. Solve the system by graphing. So again, they're just having you practice. Do the same thing that you have been, and then you get to 47 to 59. So 47 to 59 odd. That is, again, getting ready for the next section. It's getting you some review, if you remember, on how to do some of these. So if you're doing something like 49, if you forget how to do this kind of stuff, it's good practice. And if it's easy, that's good. Distribute. When there's a plus here, you can just take off the parenthesis that's following it. Okay, combine like terms. 6x plus x is 7x. Minus 3x plus 3y. Those disappear, and your answer is 7x. Okay, so that's all they're doing, is just some review stuff that we've already done. So anyway, that's it for 4.1, B as in boy.